See, the number one skill that you need as an entrepreneur, as a business owner is
if you want to help people, you need to learn how to close.
Even if you're a retard like you guys, if you make 300 legitimate cold calls, you'll make $1 million a year, no problem.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Dan Lok. Also, if you want to have more self-love and confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The link to join are in the description below.
problem with young people. You're not good at anything. Oh, I'm so good. No, tell me the truth. You're not good at anything. After you practice martial art, you develop this natural self-confidence. Not cockiness, but you develop this natural self-confidence. Michael Gerber from eMyth talks about this. Most people, they're actually not entrepreneurs. They are technicians suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure. Meaning that they're very good at the technical work, at the thing, but they don't understand how the business works. They do not know how to sell. See, the #1 skill that you need as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is the ability to close. If you don't close sales, you will not bring in revenue. And with no revenue, you don't have a business. And yet, most people, they get into business without developing that skill set. Most people don't know how to communicate. Fewer know how to sell, almost no one knows how to close. When you can close anyone at any time, it means that you have the ability to generate revenue at any moment. Then you can create revenue for your company. And that is the #1 skill that you need to make sure that your business is successful.
People think that closing is a bad word. That salespeople are slimy and closing someone on something is good for you, but not necessarily good for them. Now, some people are like that, but it doesn't have to be you. You want to help people. And if you know that they should be taking action in an area where they are not, their ability to follow through and listen to your advice is directly in relation to your ability to close them. If you want to help people, you need to learn how to close. I was really in this same camp. You know, I thought salespeople were slimy. I'm a humble Canadian with humble parents and never really learned about sales and techniques and closing because that's what bad people do, you know. And my passion is to live a life of service. And I saw my mom do it. You know, she's on the wall behind me and all the great efforts that she went through to help humanity and the people around her. And there was a moment in time I realized that there was this one moment that this is when I needed to learn how to get better at closing. This is when I realized I need to learn this skill because if I don't, it's going to limit my impact that I want to build, that I want to help people, right? It's going to limit my impact. So here's what happened. There's an entrepreneur friend of mine. He had this successful business that he was thinking, do I sell it or do I just let it run on autopilot? Sell it or let it run on autopilot? Because he wanted to go off and do something else. He wanted to leave the country, join a different business, start something new. And this company that he created, he was on the fence whether he should just let it go and sell it or go off and try to bring somebody on who would just run it and he could be on autopilot mode. The allure of passive income and just everything's gonna be done for you automatically, right? Anyway, so I told him, you need to sell the business, sell it now, sell it while you still have one foot in the water, sell it while you still have some kind of care for the company before you hate it. Because once you're moving on and doing other things, any involvement in this business is gonna be such a drain and a drag for you. You can't be in this thing, you need to move on. And he hemmed and hawed, I wasn't sure. And I wasn't good at closing him. I wasn't a good enough communicator to help him through that decision because I knew that was the right thing for him. Anyway, he didn't do it. He didn't sell the business. He thought he's gonna live this life, you know, live overseas and have this business run on autopilot. And then the business crashed. The business crashed because the person that he brought in didn't care as much as he did, wasn't the owner like he was. He wasn't there to make sure things happened. When crises, you know, did happen, he wasn't super responsive. And eventually the business just fumbled, just disintegrated, just fell apart. Even telling a story now brings me back because I see that as my responsibility. Because he could have sold it and got a good price. It may not have been the price that he wanted, but it's way better than just watching his business slowly tank over time. And I knew it was the best answer for him, and I didn't push hard enough. I didn't close him that this is what he needed to do. Now, you may be watching and saying, well, it's not your responsibility, it's his responsibility. You know, he should have known better. You can only do so much. And yes, at the end of the day, I can only do so much, and it's up to him to be able to make that decision. But I could have done better, right? I could have done better. I did not do my best because I didn't know how to close. I didn't learn the skills. And as a result, you know, somebody close to me suffered. And so I decided that I needed to get better at it. I needed to learn more. I needed to improve myself so that with every entrepreneur that I meet, I'm a little bit better. I'm a little bit stronger. I can guide them just a little bit better. And if that, my improvement in helping close them means that they have a massive success because they decided to take that path instead of going down the wrong one because they were afraid or greedy or whatever other reason, that's amazing. And if you want to influence people, it's the same thing. If you want to help people, not just sell your product that benefits you and doesn't benefit them. I'm not talking about using it for nefarious purposes, right? You want to help people. You have to learn to close them. Through care, through heart, through effort, through energy. You have to learn how to close them. I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is start from service. Start from service. Start by you actually thinking to yourself, I care about this person. I want to help this person. At least for me, that's what gets me through the pain and the struggle and the effort and the hard work of making them see the thing that you see. I want to help them. And I want them to feel the love. Like, this is coming out of love. I want you to solve this problem. I want you to get this result. I want you to go from being here to being here. And this is the path. I know this path better than you do. Take this path. It's going to get you to where you need to be. Please, for you, right? Start with service. And so it's your own mindset first to understand that this is why you're doing it. And then for them to feel the love. Right? You're not trying to convince them on something that is only beneficial for you. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe they are ultimately buying your product or service, but they have to feel the love. If they understand the love, if they feel that you're doing this out of service for them, they're much more willing to listen to what you're trying to say. Step number 2 is go from 85 to 100%. So I have this saying that when I'm 85% certain, I'm 100%. When I'm 85% sure that this is the right path for you, I'm 100% sure. I don't just act as if I'm 100% sure, I am 100% sure. If you're not 85% sure yet, then you ask questions. You keep digging, you keep trying to sift through what they're telling you. You ask more clarifying questions. You keep getting more information until you get to the point where you're 85% sure. And when you're at that point, then you are 100. And if you ever watch my coaching calls, I just had one this morning in my Facebook group for my insiders. If you want to join the insiders group, be the first to get my new book and join me every week on private Facebook calls. There's a link in the description. Go buy the book. I'll see you there. I had a call with a woman this morning and I didn't understand what she did and I didn't understand how it could help yet. And so for 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, I'm asking questions. Like, I don't understand what you do. I'm trying to understand how you sell this. What are you doing when you speak on stage? What is your book about? What's the value that you bring? And part of her challenge is communication and clarity. So in my questions, I'm trying to help her get more clear. And so it's very much question, information, note-taking mode, right? And her ultimate question was, well, how do I start winning on social media? Then I got to 85%. Like, I know now what this woman needs to do to get to where she wants to be. She ultimately wants to quit her job to do the side hustle she has and make that her full-time business. And I said, you can do this in the next 3 to 6 months. But I wouldn't even focus on social media. And here I am, the social media guy. I love social media. I love YouTube. You guys are watching this on YouTube. I love it. But for what she needs, social media isn't actually the thing. She can get to where she wants to go a lot faster by doing the hunting instead of doing the farming, right? Social media is farming. You're farming, you're planting a lot of seeds and eventually some come out and then you harvest those crops. But hunting is a faster way to eat and it's a faster way for her to get her business off the ground. She needs to go off and hunt so she can quit her job, stop being in this job, and then 3 to 6 months be full-time plus building this business, having a much bigger impact. So in the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm asking questions, no advice. And she's like, well, what do I do on social media? Like, let's not go there yet. I'm still trying to understand what you do and what the problem is. Once I understand, then boom, like switch. Here's what you need to do. And this is the path that you have to take. Because if you're 85% sure and then you hedge and you hold on to the 85 instead of going to 100, all they're going to hear is the hedge because they don't want to do the difficult thing. Because you're a little bit uncertain, and because they're massively uncertain, they're going to hold on to that little bit, that 15% of uncertainty, and they won't take the action they need to take. You will never be 100% sure. You can't be. You can only be 100% sure looking backwards, not forwards. But you have enough pattern recognition to know that this is most likely the case. 85% sure that this is the case. When you're 85% sure, you have to get to 100% in your mind, in your actions. Otherwise, the person who you're talking to won't take action. And step number 3 to close more effectively is to raise the stakes. You have a moment with this person right now, right? You got a moment. Even us here, we have a moment. We're watching this, we have a moment. You're then gonna go off and do something else and run off with the rest of your day. The people who you're trying to help in these conversations, they have a busy life. You're one of 20 people they might be seeing that day, and lots of other distractions and emails and texts and everything else that they have to deal with. You're a tiny little blip on their radar of what they have to get done today. That blip has to matter. That blip has to matter. It's gotta mean something, they gotta do something. And so the way to do it is to raise the stakes, make them see the consequences. If you do not do this, here's what's gonna happen, right? If I think about my friend who didn't sell this company, if you don't sell the company before you leave, you're gonna lose your business. Everything you work for, all your savings, everything, it's gonna go to zero unless you sell it right now. You may not get the price you want. Stop being greedy because you're gonna lose everything. That's raising the stakes. Make them see the consequences, because if they're listening to you, they see that you're coming from service. They see you're 100% sure in what needs to happen. They're aligned with you emotionally. Like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Someone who's there, that sounds like a good idea, they're not gonna do anything. They're not emotionally convinced yet. They're just logically convinced. And until you hit them here, they're not gonna do anything. What hits them there is raising the stakes. Show me the consequences that if I do not take action right now and move this thing forward, then X, Y, Z is going to happen. And that has to be painful or I won't do anything. That's a 3-step process. You learn those 3 things, you're gonna close a lot more and help a lot more people. Now I have a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what do you think about the word closing? When you hear that word, what do you think? Is it slimy? Is it awesome? Is it something else? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you promise after watching this video to do something, we don't just watch videos, we take action here, Believe Nation. Put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below to make a promise to yourself and then get to work.
When our children finished undergraduate school, and they both worked before they went on to graduate school, I told both Kelly and Derek, make 300 cold calls a day and you'll lead the nation in sales or in anything you do. 300 cold calls a day. And that's getting through to somebody, not leaving a message, blah, blah, blah. And they both did. You cannot, even if you're a retard like you guys, if you make 300 legitimate cold calls, you'll make $1 million a year, no problem. And that's not a lot of money, and I say that begrudgingly, but to most people it is. That's 1,500 cold calls a week. That's 6,000 cold calls a month. That's 72,000 cold calls a year. If you can't make $1 million, you ought to kill yourself, metaphorically speaking.
You need to learn how to communicate with people. Okay, the site here says, the PowerPoint says, learn to become a professional salesperson. When I think of the professional salesperson, I think about a professional communicator. Someone who knows how to make contact. Someone who knows how to control a conversation. I don't think about a swindler. I don't think about a tricky dude. I don't think about a huckster. I don't think about a scam artist. I think about, dude, this guy showed me something I didn't know. You know how many things that I almost bought were the wrong thing, but a professional salesperson with a full pipeline said, no, dude, you don't want that. One of the best salespeople I know, okay, a guy named Robert, I'm not going to give his last name because I don't have permission. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. $25 billion worth of real estate. Hey, Robert, is this a good deal? Yeah, but that's not the one I would do. I would buy this one over here if I were you, okay? See, he's a professional. He's a communicator. He'll tell me when I'm doing wrong. He'll tell me when I'm right, tell me when I'm wrong. He'll challenge me. He's not playing games trying to match tones. I saw this video the other day, matching people's tones. Did you see it? Okay, get right at the right moment. At the right moment. lower your voice. And I don't want to do that. I'm talking about a professional salesperson that doesn't have to rely on tricks because their pipeline's so big. There's 7 billion people on the planet that are qualified and interested in buying your product. You do not need to trick people, and that's why so many people think commission, I don't want to be a salesperson, equals I don't want to be a huckster. Well, you don't have to be if you're a professional.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want to see why Dan Lok thinks you should stop being negative, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You are walking down the street and suddenly you hear and suddenly you see a red Ferrari just drove by. What's the first thought that comes through your mind?